Ethics for Autonomous and Intelligent Systems. This video is a summary of a 3 years project where an open community of hundreds of global experts from different disciplines have come together to create an ethical framework for autonomous and intelligent systems. The 3 pillars of ethically aligned design. Based on several years of understanding humans, politics, and technology, the 3 pillars of ethically aligned design fall into the following: universal human values, political self-determination, and technical dependability. People from the open community have worked on the ethically aligned design principles that autonomous and intelligent system creators and any other parties affected should be aware of. The 8 principles are the following: human rights. The creators of autonomous and intelligent systems should be aware of human rights as defined by international laws. Well-being. When working on autonomous and intelligent systems, taking into consideration legal, profitable, and safe to use products is what most companies focus on, but without considering well-being. For example, robots are being created by many companies to automate the fast food business. When creating those systems, was the well-being of restaurant employees taken into consideration? Data agency. It is encouraged that organizations, including the government, should enable citizens to have full sovereignty over their data. So the simple method of clicking and accepting terms to access services is designed to provide legally accurate information regarding the usage of people's data without ensuring that individuals do have full knowledge of how their data is used. Effectiveness. Creators and operators must provide evidence that their products fit the purpose that they were created for effectively. Transparency. The key concern of autonomous and intelligent systems is that their operation must be transparent. For example, if robots were to be used in medical surgeries, will the engineer, operator, or patient be responsible if the robot surgery fails? Accountability is strongly linked to transparency, as transparency makes it possible to identify who is legally responsible for any harm caused. Competence. Autonomous system creators should indicate who is competent to operate the system and what steps need to be followed when operating the systems. This table shows how the 3 pillars match to the general principles of ethically aligned design. Definitions for classical ethics in autonomous and intelligent systems. This section provides 4 classical theories of ethics in the Western tradition to show how those ethics relate to autonomous and intelligent systems. Virtue ethics. This philosophy encourages the balance between the extremes of excessive and efficient actions. Deontological ethics. Systems developers, by following this ethic guide, have the duty to consider if his or her actions are within the best interests of humanity. Utilitarian ethics. This theory states that the right course of action is the one that maximizes the utility and pleasure for the greatest number of people. From the restaurant example mentioned earlier, it is clear that the company designing the robots and restaurant owners may benefit financially, but will this in turn benefit the employees? Ethics of care. The ethical guide states that a relationship should have the potential to grow into a caring relationship. The distinction between moral agent and moral patient. Here the subject of should the intelligent system be responsible for its actions or is the system developer responsible is discussed. For example, should a self-driving car take the life of a child or an elderly? In this scenario, the action of a car is predetermined by the developers. The developer is responsible for making sure the car will follow the law when making decisions. But when creating human-like systems, the discussion of what level of free will does the system have is important, as it determines if the system is responsible for its actions. The need for an accessible classical ethics vocabulary. It is encouraged when classical ethics is discussed, there should exist a set of terminology that people with no philosophical background will be able to use and understand. Presenting ethics to the creators of autonomous and intelligent systems. The aim here is to be able to teach engineers the philosophy of ethics using methods that are familiar to engineering students, to embed ethics into students' minds when they start working on projects after they graduate. Identify norms for autonomous and intelligent systems. As autonomous and intelligent systems are already well embedded into our society, a question that may arise is, what is the normal way for a system to behave? If the system was to simply follow a set of rules, this might be simple, as rules are predetermined and can be embedded into the machine. But a more challenging question is, how would a robot deal with social and moral norms, as those are more complex to identify and understand? For example, a system that will be interacting with people in a care home will be very different from a system that is used to train athletes.